Greetings and salutations, listener. It is I, Eric J. Chucci, here as always with my co-conspirator, the boy.
Hey.
And this is the Two Nerds podcast, not the other Two Nerds podcast, you know, the one with us in it. Before we get into today's topic, if you could hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave us a comment if you want, like how I pronounce topic funny. Also, there's a link in the description for you to go to Super Blizzard's Bandcamp page. His Shining Wasato track, Let's Get Hardcore, is our theme music. He gave that to us for free, so it would be cool if you gave him some money for his musics. Although technically he didn't give it to us for free, I did buy it, but he let me use it for free. Monetizationally.
He's not charging us royalties or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And that makes him real royalty.
It makes him a cool guy, but he doesn't own a kingdom now or something.
The kingdom of my heart.
You're going to the mat on this bit, aren't you?
The wrestling mat of my heart.
So yes, okay. Moving on. This week, our topic was a matter of some debate here at the Two Nerds household. We ultimately decided to do a little bit of speaking on our weeks, our things we've been doing as of late, that sort of thing. But we wanted to focus on something because, well, that way there's something for you to listen to, listener. That is what you do.
Well, if we don't have a topic of focus, I tend to, like a child caught by a drift limb, float away.
I have to give that reference a second.
Sure, that's fine.
To let it breathe.
Let it simmer.
Yeah. So one of the things that we've been doing is, originally Eric here had wanted to watch Dragon Ball Z, because I think have you mentioned this on the podcast? I'm not sure.
If we haven't, I'm not going to make the listener go to a completely different episode that I don't exactly remember to find out why. The new game came out, and I was thinking about playing it, but I don't know but barely dick about Dragon Ball Z. I know most of the characters' names and a little bit about each of them, but I couldn't even provide a Wikipedia summary of what they do. So I was like, well, we'll give it another crack. The first time I tried to watch it, I did not like it. But maybe with the boy there, it will be less unworthy of my time. And it'd help me get into the video game.
So we endeavored to find it, which ended up being a more tricky proposition than you might think, listener. We couldn't really find a good place to get the version of Dragon Ball Z I'd prefer to watch.
Legally.
It's not on the anime service we ended up using for the thing we are going to be talking about. That's Crunchyroll. There wasn't an unabridged version available that I could find. Hulu has one that's cutting out a bunch of episodes or parts of episodes, and I don't know what it's cutting out, so I'm a little concerned about that. Listener, if it's a quality version that wouldn't make me angry, please feel free to let me know in the comments, because I would actually like to have White watch this.
I'd like to play that game.
Yeah, it looks fun. But, so instead, I found that Crunchyroll did have something else. Another show that I watched around the same time as I watched Dragon Ball Z. It was very good. Or at least I remembered it being very good. And it was actually my third choice. My second being Yu Yu Hakusho, which Crunchyroll also does not have. But
again, did Hulu have that one?
I don't think so. I don't think anybody had that.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I think it's sealed off in the vaults.
This is a grand anime bunker that Japan keeps. From us filthy, filthy Americans. So.
We wash, sometimes.
I mean, they're right to keep things from us. Hold on. Cat incoming. Okay, there we go. So. I'm gonna let you have this. I'm just gonna move right along.
Sorry. No. Listener. Before the podcast, I have a little ritual that I have to do. I gotta silence my phone. I gotta make sure the computer's turned down. Sometimes I'll even turn the speakers off because they make a little crackly noise. We turn off the heater so it doesn't get us, or in the summer months, the AC. I make sure all things are silent and everything is in readiness so that I don't interrupt the podcast by being an unprofessional bint. And yet here...
the Jidge invariably decides that podcast time is fucking with the humans time.
Ah, but he's so fluffums.
He is adorable. Anyway, my third choice was Rurouni Kenshin. There were actually two things available, one on the Crunchyroll service, and the other, which was a different dub by another company, available on Hulu. I took a guess as to which one we should watch, and turns out I was right. It is, because it's the dub I watched as a kid, which is the one I wanted to watch. And we've watched 11 episodes of it now. There are 94 available on Crunchyroll far after I stopped watching, so eventually, if we keep watching it, we'll get to stuff I've never experienced before either. But while I have some things that I'd like to mention about it, how it compares now to when I was a kid, that sort of thing, because it's unlike a lot of other cartoons I liked as a kid, or even anime. This is one I basically haven't revisited at all since I was, 13. So... But I do have some things I'd like to mention, but more importantly, this is White Raven here. It's his first brush with this particular anime, which is fairly beloved by a large swath of people. So
I can't help but notice anytime you suggest that you interview me, as it were, about a media we've been consuming, your intent is nefarious, at least. You get this smile on your face, like the cat that sees two canaries that don't realize it's a cat.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There it is again.
So, let's go ahead and talk about how you hate the thing that everyone loves. So...
I don't hate it.
Right, but if I say you hate it, it makes them angrier and they yell at you.
Should we just lie?
Mm-mm.
I hate all good things. I'm Billy.
There you go. So, we watched 11 episodes for people who know what the series is, have watched it recently, or feel like looking up on the Wikipedia page. We just got finished with the Oniwaban group storyline. That's the name. Don't look at me like that.
I was looking at you because we were talking as friends. So sometimes when you talk to your friends, you make something resembling eye contact.
No, that's not true.
I looked directly at your nose, for those curious.
Anyway.
This is a very important podcast, listener, on very important things.
What, We do not stare soulfully into each other's eyes for hours on end.
I'm super ass introverted. I don't really look people in the eyes unless I have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it just bothers me in general.
Yeah, agreed. So
I get caught in this horrible negazone when I'm at my day job at national major retail chain, and like when a nice lady comes by with a low cut top, usually I will stare at about the chin or neck, but that's a little too close to the boob for my comfort. I don't want to get hit by anybody. So there's I stare at their hair, or just to the right of them, or we just don't look.
Just minefield.
Minefield of boobs. It's a pretty good minefield.
Yeah, you step up. Boobs! In your head, is that the noise boobs make?
Like if 1,000 of them explode out of a
that's
pie.
amazing. Intact individual boobs. Do they come out in sets, or do they come out one at a time?
They come out in sets, but they just come out so fast that I don't think you could count them.
No. So they're not connected to each other.
Gosh, no.
Oh, okay.
They're have you ever seen the slimes in Dragon Quest?
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay, alright.
Not as pointy at the top. Some of them, though.
You gotta assume.
Yeah. Quality podcast.
There you go. We were talking about
Ronny Kenny.
Ronny Kenny. It's like Magnar thing. Oh. I see like a truck driver with... Not even a trucker hat, but like just a regular old baseball cap and a flannel shirt and a samurai sword.
I was seeing
He's wandering the great American highways because he don't want no killing no more.
that guy who's doing a show with Triumph, the insult comic dog now. Brandy's horse. That's a reference that you might get, listener, if you've been around for a while. He was on Ugly Betty, I want to say. The cute, nerdy Tennessee boy. I don't remember his name off the top of my head, and it's going to take me a while to find him if I search that way, so...
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about now. I forget his name also. I see, like, a gruff... Like Diedrich Bader.
I'm sorry, have you seen Rurouni Kenshin? Like, he presents himself
But
as...
this is not Rurouni Kenshin. This is Ronny Kenny.
But he needs to be... I mean, he can still be a trucker. He can still be wearing the flannel shirt and the baseball cap, but underneath it, he just needs to be... Gosh, I'm just so glad to be here, y'all, that I am.
Oh, I do declare that is a wonderful cheesecake you have. That is so delicious. And then someone tries to hit up the store and be like... Y'all should go ahead and leave peacefully, that you should.
Else I'll be forced to use this here samurai sword against you.
And then they get lippy, and then he's all, I don't think you understand. I will fucking destroy you.
I will end your soul.
I love Ronny Kenny.
Yeah, Ronny Kenny.
He, the Sash Dragon, and Mag North End, all hanging out. Anyway, that's going to be the word of the day here at the Turner's Podcast. Anyway, it's a word we say when the bit has ended, and we have no punchline. So we take a small bow and move back to what we were doing.
We need to figure out segues, my man.
No thanks. I like anyway.
Okay.
What are your first impressions of the show? Getting the first, I'd say, up the intro out of the way, and the first major enemy storyline.
We're not counting the intro because the intro is...
Oh, no, I want the intro included. But, like, that whole bit right up to the first pretty major enemy storyline. What's your...
I mean, it kind of opens with a pretty major enemy storyline.
Not in the grand scheme of things.
Well, no, but he's big and loud and has a beard.
That's true, I suppose. You like big, loud guys who have a beard. You are beard-loving Vince McMahon in that way.
Is he big? Yeah. Does he do a big boot? Yeah. Does he have a beard?
Yeah.
Sign him! Put him on WrestleMania! Dude, Vince, are you okay?
Are you having like a seizure right now, or?
I need medical attention!
Somebody get Pop's having some problems. Somebody get him like, I don't know, a coffee or something. He seems a little off.
Somebody get him a real doctor, not one of the WWE doctors. Get a real one in here.
Just fly one in. We're in Connecticut. There's plenty, I'm sure.
I don't know. I mean, like, what are you looking for here? I mean,
Do you like the show? Do you hate the show?
It's okay. I think the comment you're baiting me for, because we do talk outside of the podcast, listener.
No, he's lying. We actually don't.
Is it like wrestling style where, like, you will punch me in the face one week and then next Sunday is when I talk to you about how you punched me in the face?
Of course. We maintain a monk-like oath of silence between each other all throughout the week because we want you, the listener, to experience the best of what we have to offer you.
That's a lie.
It's like tantric talking.
If that were a case, we'd be talking about Superman villains right now.
Oh, God. Listener, I'm sorry. I should have always a recording device on me. You missed gold.
Yeah, but
you have my deepest apologies.
Let's not dangle fucking paradise fruit when all we have is kind of an apple.
I don't know. It's like reddish.
Yeah.
It's got a stem.
Could be a cherry, big cherry.
Maybe like a weird passion fruit.
No, it was a herpy.
Oh,
yeah,
a herpy.
a herpy. Well, there you go. We found out. And knowing is half the battle. The other half is not eating herpes. I digress.
That's pretty much the whole point of the podcast.
Right. The comment you're baiting me for is it's about as good at, but for different reasons. About as good as, I should say, but for different reasons. Inuyasha.
That's right.
This is when you lean into the mic and go, "That's right, listener."
Everyone on the internet. He just said that Rurouni Kenshin was about as good as Inuyasha. Now I'm not gonna make any judgments on that sentence personally. Personally, I'm not gonna say anything about it
because he doesn't want tomatoes thrown at it.
Pretty much.
Internet tomatoes.
But all I'm gonna say is that he said it.
Well, I said it, so you don't need to say that I said it.
No. I'm just pointing it out that you said this thing.
Okay, fine.
I don't want them to forget.
Listener has faded out, and they're like, "Shit, what did he say?" Seemed like it was important. No, I watched. Watched is kind of a strong word. I was near Inuyasha when it was doing one of its thousands of runs on Adult Swim. I left it on in the background. Something I was actually watching would go off. I'd be on the computer and it would do its thing.
It's a perfectly serviceable show.
Yeah, it wasn't hateful. I mean, I thought it was worse when I was younger, but, looking back, it wasn't that bad.
No.
Kind of annoying at worst.
Yeah.
Fucking pointless.
Some good characters.
Good characters, couple decent fight scenes, couple of cool ideas behind it, but that was about it. And that's kind of what, Rurouni Kenshin is going for as well, and I think that's why I draw that comparison. Something does happen every week, I will give it that, but it's just sort of like some good characters, some decent fight scenes, cool ideas.
Mildly annoying at worst.
Mildly annoying at worst. It's super tropey, it's super typical.
Mm-hmm. It explores some different tropes from a lot of shonen anime.
Yeah.
But
when it gets really serious, that's when I really start to dig it. Early in the 11 episodes we've watched so far, when General Badass comes to visit, and he's like, "Rurouni Kenshin, join me at my side again, and we can rule the galaxy as father in Japan." And Rurouni Kenshin is like, "No, that I cannot do that, I cannot. Because I have given up that life for the way of the wanderer that I have." And he's like, "Okay, well, we're still super best friends, and these bad cops need to fucking leave." But, amidst that, they're like, "Deep shit about Japan and shit, total fucking serious history stuff. You there, small child, know things about fucking Japan, and how life is hard and sad, and politics are shit. Well, back in my carriage, bye." And his mustache rode away.
I remember that you are still sort of taking digs at it now.
I take digs at everything.
But I remember when we first watched the first couple episodes, you had a kind of a real problem with Kenshin's speech patterns.
Oh god, yeah, no, it's fucking stupid. I was hoping it was a weird thing that the dub did, because we were watching the dub version, because I don't want to sit down and stare at that.
And I watched the dub version as a kid, so that's what I wanted to watch.
Unless the translation was also fucking weird like that, and they were just making a verbal tick in Japanese carry over strangely, it's just
from what I've gathered, because after he mentioned this, I did research on it, because trust me, he mentioned it a few times. What it is the closest approximation of the way he's talking.
Right.
And it's the closest approximation of the very impersonal way that he talks. Because usually when he's being nice Kenshin, he, refers to himself as this one. He doesn't use personal pronouns. He refers to himself in a very demeaning way. And so almost a grovelly tone.
I wish they would do that instead of the weird repeaty thing.
Well, yeah. I guess it doesn't really make... He's supposed to be this person who is deeply at peace with himself, but, troubled on the inside. And
because there was something similar they did in Final Fantasy VI. I want to say similar, not the same. With the character of Cyan, who, for those of you who haven't played, and for those of you sitting next to me who know him by a different name from a game that I ripped off, he's this fucking old world samurai. Pledging fealty to his king and everything. And the dialect they gave him in the Japanese version of the game was this very old honorific dialect that nobody fucking uses anymore. When they translated it to American, American English, the choice they made there, the choice Ted Woolsey made, was to...
Well, he's a paragon of good choices, that guy.
No, but sometimes yes. But the choice he made was to give him a ye old English accent. And he's like the only motherfucker that has a ye old English accent, and everybody makes fun of him for it, or, jabs at him for it. I would have liked to see that more than them filling the mouth space.
Well, it's not about filling the mouth space. It's about, at least from what I've gathered, it's trying to get across the way he speaks. Because the only other way to get that across would be to have him sound really pathetic.
And if that's the character, that's the character. You know what I mean? It was the 90s.
That doesn't come across.
Sure.
Like Japan and America being different places, it doesn't come across with the same tone.
Yeah, we weren't dubbing anime with the same intent back then as we are now. There's a lot of the culture that's kept intact now that we just didn't back then.
Didn't bother or changed.
But for me sitting here watching this in the year of our Lord Cthulhu 2015, I am rubbed the wrong way by it. It's a cute little affectation, but I don't feel like it fits the character. Like, I'm not a huge weeb. I mean, I'm not. I like anime, I like Japanese things, I like Japanese culture, but it's not like what dominates my life. I don't sit around and research it any more than I do anything the fuck else. But I like it to be a genuine reflection of whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the fact that me, who is not a huge weeb, could detect that this is not right, something about what this character, his mouth words are not fucking right, says something about your product. Because the short version, I'm an idiot and I noticed. You know what I mean?
I can't really hate on that too much. It's not even I'm used to it, so it doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. But I can understand why it would bother you.
Well, and also, perhaps even more to that sentiment, I have already seen a character who is similar, very similar, to this character, and I feel they did the duality better. And that's Vash. I understand that it's not the same speech patterns.
Well, no, it's not. That's not even the thing I was going to... I don't think that he's actually similar to Vash. Like, the overall trope is the same, but the overall trope is the same between, like, Superman and Captain Hero. But they're not the same character.
I don't know if I would go that far.
No, not to not that one of them is comedy. It's just they're not. The motivations behind them are different.
Well, yeah, but I mean, really, what I'm talking about is specifically the trope of their speech patterns.
The nice guy to then not fucking around anymore guy.
And Kenshin, I mean, they do that okay. There's not as much of a tonal shift when he goes hardcore as A, you suggested there might be. I mean, it's there. It's noticeable. It's just not as big as I thought it was. And B, it's like if you want to use the metaphor or the simile in this, now that I'm using it, if Clark Kent took off his glasses and everyone went, "Shit, Superman!" Instead of the character, dropping the act, dropping something carefully maintained, he just stops doing his weird little parrot vibe and becomes serious. And that's taking off weird shit on your head instead of a real tonal shift. Because, I mean, even you and I as human beings, the difference between us being upset and happy-go-lucky are two strong vocal delineations.
See, I don't know that I agree with that. I don't know that I agree because the tonal shift is there. It's not entirely... It's a very sharp tonal shift. And it's not entirely in his voice. I think this is... is partly due to the fact that you're not watching it. Like,
no, I am speaking exclusively about the voice here. I'm 100%.
As a comparison, to use Vash. Vash has, honestly, less of a vocal tonal shift. He just goes from being happy to serious. Whereas...
It's in his dialogue more than in his voice.
In his dialogue, he has a lot of it. But his voice isn't very sharp, and his pattern of movements aren't even that different.
I would say... a lot of it is in his face as well, which is a lot of it's in Kenshin's face too. But I'm not necessarily talking about that. I just let me. I don't want to say backpedal, but let me return to the beginning of my thoughts and try to re-summarize them better, because I feel like we're getting off on a tangent that isn't constructive to either of our opinions.
Fair.
If the intention was to correctly portray the difference between the Lone Wanderer and Batosai the Manslayer, getting his manslay on.
You know what? That is a point I have to make. They overuse that term a lot.
It doesn't bother me.
It starts to bother me after a while.
If that's what they were trying to do, trying to preserve that by giving his casual dialogue weird trappings, because that's not normal for fucking anybody.
I mean, sometimes it is. In certain languages, that restatement, that's perfectly normal.
Alright, but Japanese and English?
I don't know about Japanese. I don't speak moon runes.
From what I understand, Japanese isn't. I mean, I can't claim as though I speak it, but, everything I've seen, I read a lot of anime, there are people on YouTube who speak Japanese that I pay attention to, especially when they're talking about, I like the differences in languages. And that's not a thing. I mean, maybe it's a dialect I'm not aware of. Feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm always happy to obtain knowledge. But even if it is a direct translation, that is so absent in American culture. Nobody fucking does that.
I don't know I don't even know that that's true. Nobody does it these days.
Nobody did it in the 90s. I was there.
No, not in the 90s.
But that's the audience you're appealing to.
But it's I'm just making a statement of fact. I think you're wrong about that fact. It's not that no one does it ever. No one ever did it in the Americas.
I'm sorry. I am being hyperbolic, and I'm not trying to. You're correct about that part. It's not common. Certainly not common enough to be worthy of making a character trait without pointing it out. I don't know. Although this show fucking does that, so...
Yeah, it's not really all that... It's not a huge thing. I don't know why you'd need to point it out, because it's just a character trait. He talks kind of weird. He says...
And maybe it's because I'm seeing this as an adult, and I have questions that I might not have had as a young man.
Maybe.
I mean... It's not... I mean, I don't know. I don't... I'm not trying to overanalyze it, but, that wears on me. They can say, Batosai the Manslayer, as much as they want, but that doesn't bother me. But when he repeats himself in that weird way, and nobody fucking questions it, it's like, why? Am I taking crazy pills? Does anyone else see
does
this?
It, so... It's a weird tick he has. Nobody else in the series does it. He talks kind of weird. That's not a huge character trait.
I mean, maybe I just pay more attention to that kind of shit. I don't know. It's not... It makes it really hard for me to take him seriously. Even more so than, his goofy transformations into an SD character, or his over-the-top reactions to nothing. I mean, that's fine. That I expect. But the weird speech pattern is... That's what rubs me the wrong way. About everything about that half of the character. That's just... Maybe it's too many hats. Maybe the motherfucker already had enough, why he gotta talk weird too. And if he had to talk weird, man, there's this one thing. That's fine. I mean, probably not for an American audience in the 90s. They'd see that as more robotic than at peace or supplicant.
Remorseful, maybe, but...
Maybe. That's not bad. Whatever. It was a weird choice, and it detracts from my enjoyment in a single-digit percentage amount. I mean, it's not a huge thing. We have indeed spent 15 minutes talking about it, but it's really not a big deal. Just dissection of this one little nitpick. Which is like the nerd hobby.
Yeah, I was like, this is...
I'm not criticizing doing that.
This is two nerds.
Yeah, so I'm breathing, dissecting things for no reason.
We breathe all the time, just so you're aware.
Fuck you. No, shut up. You tell them. You tell them the story. Fuck it, I'll tell them the story.
I'm laughing too hard. Go!
So, like, okay, listener, if you remember a couple weeks ago, or even last week, we told you we were going to review NXT. That didn't happen. Because we sat down to watch their show last night.
Did not realize how behind we were.
No, we were 3 episodes behind. I thought we were 2. Man, I was ready for 2 hours of wrestling. I was not ready for 3 hours of wrestling. I was not. Not after WrestleMania. I understand that I liked that pay-per-view just fine, but it was still WrestleMania. That was 4 hours of mediocre to pretty good wrestling. And bad booking and the daytime ruining some good shit. But I digress. So, we were talking about what we would record about, and that, as the boy mentioned earlier, he suggested, well, why don't we just catch up on our week? I said, well, I don't do anything interesting in my week. Anything I do, I put up on the website. You can see what I've been doing. I've been playing Hotline Miami, I've been doing this. I said, well, how do I answer that question? Well, I've been breathing.
So I was like, oh, clearly you've been doing nothing all week but staring at a blank wall and practicing your meditative breathing.
You made a whole bit out of it. And if you had been there, you probably would be laughing right now. But right now you're doing that,
Because it was you had to be there, story. I'm sorry, it's just the perfect button the perfect white guy comedian button.
I'm butting your fucking button.
But it's really hard to do that, though. Not the hardest. But, I mean, pretty difficult.
Get out!
So.
Rurouni Kenshin.
Ronny Kenny. Ronny Kenny, the Southern Swordsman.
When you showed me the intro, which was after our anime podcast.
The intro!
The first time you showed me the theme song and its accompanying video. You were like, that's the best anime, theme song ever. That's the most accurate.
Not best. I feel it is the ultimate expression of anime theme song.
And I believe I watched that video, and as the characters showed up, I was like, okay, that's badass main guy with the soft side. And that was Kenshin.
Mm-hmm.
This is before I'd seen the show, and I really knew nothing about it.
No, nothing.
Like, zero. The girl popped up, and I was like, okay, that's girl. Because in the opening, she's not a badass. But then, like, in the show, they conveniently forget she's a badass a lot. That bothers me.
It's not that they really conveniently forget she's a badass. Trust me.
Well, it seems... Okay, I'm sorry. It seems more like she's trying really hard not to be a badass to pretend to not flirt with Kenshin.
It's tsundere.
And it's the side of that I hate because it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
People do it in real life.
Yeah.
I just... Like, I look at that and go, why?
And I mean, she is badass, just not, like, she's not on their level, yo.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's not on the Kenshin Himura level, but she does, she participates a lot in a lot of their stuff.
No, yeah, I mean, she's there, and she broke out of Awesome Guy's mind lasers.
That's really badass.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome Guy's mind lasers.
We'll get to Awesome Guy. He's awesome.
I think I'd say it's easily your favorite villain so far.
Oh, fuck yeah. He was amazing. But I saw Sosa?
Sanosuke.
Sammy Sosa? I saw him.
Sammy Sosa's not in that show.
What do they call him for short? Sansa or?
Sansa.
Sansa, that's it.
Based off this giant big-ass Zanbato.
Oh, yeah. I looked at him and I was like, that's too cool for school. The little kid, that was Try Hard. And, I think that was it. I think those were all the characters that it showed. And I was like, those are the characters. And you were like, yes, that is the characters.
Which is one of the reasons it is the ultimate expression of anime theme song.
I mean, it's just...
Speaking of, I rediscovered my deep, unironic love for the song Freckles, which is the first opening theme of that song. Look that shit up. The American... translated version, because that's what they put on the
Oh my
American
God.
version.
Like,
They
the
actually
last-
translated the song.
The last 3 lines of that song translated are fucking word salad.
Yeah, it's so great.
It's like they tried through the whole thing, and at the end they were just like, I got nothing, fuck it. Direct translation.
I have a deep, unironic love of that song. It's actually my alarm now. It's what gets me up in the morning, because it makes me so happy.
Yeah. So, what's your next query? Oh, interviewer.
Well, we've gone through some...
Interviewer? Is that like... Would Billy be an interviewer?
Yeah, one who interviews.
No. I mean, like, he's the viewer, like, between worlds.
Well, he'd be the inter-listener.
That sounds dirty.
I'm sorry. No, I have to stop the riff for a second, because, listener, I cannot convey to you the physical comedy that went with that. Okay, I want you to imagine a person with their hands up, curled into about 3/4 of fists, recoiling from the statement, as if they could catch some sort of filthy disease from it, combined with a look of mild horror, and that phrase, "That's dirty." like I just waggled a penis in his face.
The inter-listener. That's just fucking gross. I'm gonna use that as an insult. You want some, you fucking inter-listener? The person I'm talking to will be like, I don't know what that is, but it sounds gross. I don't think I want to be an inter-listener. I'm gonna fuck this guy up.
Oh.
Or it's an obscure boxing weight championship. I mean, that...
The inter-listener title.
Yeah. Rurouni Kenshin. Samurai X. What's Batosai the Manslayer. What's your next question?
Well, that's actually something that I've seen a lot of comments online about the series. And people have different parts of the series that they like. It's very much split between a fairly, lighthearted slice of life anime.
I don't know if I'd go slice of life, but okay.
Well, it's split down the middle between that, just, the Kamiya Dojo and all the wacky happenings that are happening there, and...
I'd say it's more like a sitcom.
Yeah, a sitcom. I'll go with sitcom. And then, fucking hardcore fight time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess I know the answer to this, but
I've said as much.
Yeah. Which half do you prefer?
Definitely the hardcore fight time. Which is weird, because I like funny comedy stuff just fine. But I don't think it's funny here. Like, every now and then they'll make a good joke, but for the most part I'm rolling my eyes over here going, I could be watching Tenchi Muyo and it would be funnier.
Take that back.
Is this a cavalcade of laughs we've been witnessing? Because I don't think so.
Neither was Tenchi Muyo.
No, it wasn't. But at least they had a cat bunny.
That was cute, I suppose.
And sometimes you giggle at a cute thing like, ah ha ha, aw. No one does that.
No.
Fucking Rurouni Kenshin might do that.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha, aw, that cat is cute, is it not? It is a cat cute.
You just
tripped over my tongue.
You
fucking
crashed and burned your own bitch.
Jeez.
Right in the fucking rocks you steered that baby.
Don't worry, I'll edit it out later.
No, you won't.
No, I won't. Oh, fuck.
So,
I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's endearing.
And that's fine.
And it's so fucking tropey that, like, the only reason I can't predict what's going to happen next during those times is because my brain goes, nah, that couldn't be. That's the easiest damn thing to do. This gotta change it a little bit. This is a little bit. This is a little bit.
Nope.
No. Just, oh my god.
But the other half, the half you're more fond of.
Fighty time, fighty time, fighty.
Yeah.
I like when it's dramatic, too.
Yeah, I actually really enjoy that.
I mentioned I liked General Mustache.
General Mustache. When they get very deep philosophical warrior poet bullshit.
That's really fucking cool shit.
Yeah. On that front, the fighty time, fight. your favorite villain, I believe we mentioned, was Awesome Guy.
Awesome Guy.
Janae.
Yeah. I think they call him something else online more often. Let me look that up while you continue your question.
They call him Gambit, maybe?
Well, they could, but I don't think they do.
This was a character, for those unfamiliar, you can look him up. Once he gets the official term, the thing they call him, it makes it easier. He was actually designed character-wise off Gambit from the X-Men. A lot of the characters in that show were designed off X-Men or other Marvel properties. The creator of the show is really, really fond of Marvel. Not personality-wise. Personality-wise, he's...
Oh, no, you're right. They call him Jine. Yeah. Kurogasa is all they called him in the show.
Yeah.
And there he is, just being Gambit. Well, it's an alias. It means black hat.
Yep.
His hat was brown, wasn't it?
They're not big on accurate titles. Just so you know, in the Japanese, it's Bakosai something 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 that translates into quick draw manslayer. Because the sword style he uses is all about drawing.
Mitsurugi.
Yeah. He doesn't fucking ever do that in the anime.
God, no, he doesn't.
Well, he does later.
Well, he did during the fight with...
When shit gets serious.
He did during the fight with Jine.
Yeah.
Because he was like, but once. And Jine was all like, you couldn't possibly do the thing you're about to do. And he was like, I'm going to turn my eyes inside out at you. And now everything is inside out. Zawarudo! But then Kenshin was like, no. Stab. But with the blunt part. Good. Better kill myself.
And now you've experienced Rurouni Kenshin, an audio theater play, as performed by Eric J. Chucci.
Well, it was pretty tight, whatever, it was fucking cool. They had a fucking samurai fight and everything, man.
Yeah, dude.
And Tryhard and Salmon, what was his name? Sansa? Zanzibar?
Sanosuke, Sano for short.
Sano. Sano.
Not Salo, that's something else.
No. They got lost in the swamp, and that was... Like, what?
Let's keep these two characters off screen.
Yeah, let's keep these two characters off screen, but doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess it's fine, because people would be like, now, where were they this whole time? Because, I don't know, they were at the fucking house, they didn't know anything happened, they were taking a nap. Just taking a nap.
I'm deeply curious about these two characters. This 21 and 24 that you have created in your little mind's eye. They're having a separate other nerd argument
in a world that doesn't exist.
In the world where they don't elaborate on Sanosuke and my God, he's Tryhard now. I used to know his name.
Something with a Z, maybe.
I don't know. Move on.
Zap.
Sure, Zap Brannigan.
Zizzy? Zizzy Zap.
Zaslamel. Look, it was a weird reincarnation, okay?
The cycle is strange. No, I thought that two episodes were really fucking good. I like that character a lot.
Yahiko.
It was a Y, not a Z, I'm sorry. Yahiko. Yeah, they yell it all the time, and I'm like, who's Yahiko?
Jesse!
Is that the girl? Is Yahiko the new girl? Which one's Yahiko? Oh, yeah, yellow shirt. Tryhard, that's right.
Tryhard, yeah.
I will point out one thing I noticed that is a super subtle thing. And I told this to you, too. I wouldn't know it if I hadn't been watching Kuroko no Basuke recently. But the way Sanosuke runs, like a ninny,
he does.
He tucks his arms into his side, and his arms move with his legs instead of against his legs. Like
everyone on
Earth. Like, look at the way, get up and walk around the room, or if you are listening to us on a phone, continue walking and take note of the way your arms and legs are swaying. They're counter time. He moves with his arms in tight, in time. And he just looks like he's running like an idiot or girl in a tight skirt. But that's actually like a really old martial arts practice, apparently. That super ancient Japanese martial arts running that makes you run faster and be able to make more precise movements quickly. And they don't fucking mention it. It's just like he runs off into the distance like that.
God damn it. Stop doing visual jokes. They can't see you. They're not the viewer. They're the listener. Motherfucker.
You don't have to laugh.
Bullshit, they're funny.
And I noticed that, and I wouldn't have if I hadn't literally just watched the Kuroko episode where they're talking about the basketball team that does that. But what a nice little touch. I always appreciate that in any animation form, as we've gone on about at length in, Scooby-Doo or whatever. Yeah. I will say I like Too Cool for School, Sanosuke, more than I thought I would. He's not quite too cool for school.
I had you pegged as liking him.
He's just cool enough for school. I mean, it's not like I super like him or anything.
But no, I had you pegged as you like Sanosuke.
Well, he's definitely the least hateable of
You're gonna
all
love
of those
Shishio.
characters.
Shishio, you're gonna fucking love him. I'm putting my money where my mouth is here. I'm putting this on the internet, okay? When we get to the part, because we're gonna keep watching this, when we get to Shishio, he's gonna fucking love Shishio. Mark my words, listener.
So, pretty much after that was the Oniwaban group, right?
Yeah, they did that. They did the intro. They did a couple of intro villains. Cool guy. Janae. And then, Deathmatch Under the Moon was the last Janae episode, and the next one was A New Battle, Mysterious Beauty from Nowhere, which was the beginning of the 4-part Oniwaban group. I fucking love that whole arc. I'm not gonna lie. It's one of the reasons I wanted them to watch the show. I figured we'd get to it real fast and it'd be really cool, and it was just as cool as I remembered it, for exactly the same reasons.
I thought it was okay. I felt like there was a lot of good stuff there that they didn't pay off the way I would have liked to see it. But that's more my personal tastes as a viewer than necessarily me dictating what they should have done as producers.
Because, personally, as a viewer, I have no problems with how that stuff
Sure.
was handled.
I would have liked to see a little more fighting. They spent so much time putting over how fucking cool this Carnival of Carnage was, and then they barely paid it off.
Well, I mean, that's sort of...
Especially the guy with the fucking Oni mask.
The guy with the Oni mask was really fucking cool.
He was like, I got a stretchy arm, and, I've forgotten his name. Kenshin was like, you hit me with your stretchy arm. Which, that was big because nobody hits him, but then, he gets hit a million times later.
By the guy who's better than him.
Yeah, so, it's, you've already played that trump card. And whatever, you knew it was going to happen at some point anyway. I'm surprised they dragged it out as long as they did. But, still, he's like, I got a stretchy arm. And he's like, okay, I see your stretchy arm, and I raise you, fuck you. I'm gonna break your fucking cool mask, and you're a ghost, that's weird.
How best to put this? I have no problem with it, specifically because I would rather that than the other problem shonen anime have. I would always rather have a battle that ends maybe a little too quickly. It's I would love to see maybe 2-3 more minutes of that. In shonen anime, because the other option, there's no middle ground. The other option is this goes on for fucking 9 episodes.
Okay, alright. And maybe I don't know, and we're dealing with a Marvel Comics universe here, but I would be okay with that if I was like, ooh, we got a taste of what Onimask Guy can do. When he comes back to fuck shit up and get revenge or whatever, that's gonna be tight. But then they were all violently gunned down one after another by a maniac with a machine gun. So it was like, hey, these characters we spent all this time building, they're gone.
Which is by design. It's because, it's a really cool character, he's a really cool martial artist, this is going to make some really interesting stories, and then the douchebag motherfucker with the gun ends it and ends all the cool, fun sword time with a stupid shooter gun.
No, I get that and I agree. That's
it's designed to make you hate that.
But it's Mitsurugi's storyline from Soul Calibur 3. I get it.
It's designed to make you hate that guy more.
Well, right, and I didn't like that guy. He was a coward and jerk-ass and all that shit. But then a different problem happens. And I'm not going to go full Punisher here, but I'm going to at least go, you could have Batmaned a motherfucker. Let's see. So, I keep wanting to call him something else. Kenshin, blasts him in the face with his backwards sword and breaks everything.
His whole face.
All of the teeth.
You don't kill me.
Please don't kill me. And he just leaves.
Yep. Well, he calls the cops.
But he just leaves.
Yeah. He calls the cops and he leaves.
The cops don't even get there. He's just like, well, I'll call the cops.
No, the cops got there.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they mentioned it in the post. That's how they knew that the entire Oniwaban group was gone. By the time the cops got there...
Oh, I thought the guy was gone too.
No, like the...
Okay. Alright, that's fine then.
He's like...
I was like, dude,
he's like super best friends with the cops. They even mentioned, it's like, well, how's that guy going to... What about how... I think they mentioned, like, that guy might get away. And Yahoo's like, no way, dude. Kenshin's best friends with, like, the general or whatever.
Yeah,
there's no way he's going to listen to
mustache.
that douchebag over Kenshin. Like, they specifically mentioned
okay,
it's
no, you're...
Kenshin's secretly, like, best buddies with like, the president or whatever. So, President General Mustache. And so, fucking, get rid of, finish this for the moment. There, I put you down. You're not going to be a problem for a minute. Now I'm going to go call the cops because they'll totally listen to me. I'm like a war hero or whatever.
I thought everybody escaped.
No, just...
Well, not escaped. I mean, like, Leader took away all those dead bodies and put them in a big mass grave and was like, someday I'll put flowers here. Don't deserve flowers yet. I thought, like, other guy got away too.
No, I mean, they didn't mention it, but they didn't mention specifically that he got away or got caught, but they did mention that the general would believe Kenshin before he believed that guy.
Sure. So hopefully he doesn't come back, because that's just beyond, like, baiting for a future encounter. I don't want to see him encounter that guy again. That
guy was a wiener.
Yeah, we don't need him more.
Was he going to get a bigger, better machine gun?
Shit. I'm not even really interested in where shit with Leader is going. I felt like Leader was an unnecessary fucking character. I would have rather seen Oni Mask guy in the same role.
Like, make him the leader?
Yeah, they did a lot of redundancy with that group. Because, jailer guy, prison guard with all the scars and the metal hair.
And the fucking...
And the Iron Fist and all that shit, yeah. King of Iron Fist Tournament. We're a morning radio show now, and I am the button.
The soundboard? You're that guy from Police Academy?
I fucking guess. No, I'm not. I'm not that talented. But he was just like the Hulk again. Fire-breathing the Hulk.
Nah, because fire-breathing the Hulk's whole shtick was he breathes fire. Like, he wasn't really...
I guess, yeah, once
they stopped the breathing of the fire, it wasn't that big a deal. This guy's whole shtick was, I'm super-duper tough, yo. And then Sanosuke got to be like, yeah, well, I might look like a twig, but I'm totes tougher. Because that's his whole thing. He's just really tough.
Yeah.
Not the best fighter, just really hardcore.
I'm glad they're moving into actual conflicts and they're done putting over how much of a badass Kenshin is. Because it feels like the story can start now.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first few episodes, until we get to Janae, that's all intro. That's all just to show, alright, this guy is legit. Like, he is very clearly too badass for normal people.
Well, yeah, and he's collecting his party and stuff.
Yeah. So, now that we're through with the intro, and we're through with the Oniwaban group, which you did not like nearly as much as you should have.
There was so much I loved about the concept. And it's like if you were watching... No, you're not going to appreciate this. No, I'll say it anyway. Fuck it. It's like if you were watching a comedy movie and they're very clearly building to, like, the king of ridiculous punchlines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's all these fucking antics, and you get there to the ridiculous punchline, and it's a bad fart joke. Not even a quality one. Just a bad one. That's how I felt here. I mean, they did a thing that was a drama, that was an anime drama thing, but you wasted all of your build-up. It's like, I don't know, spending years, a long time, cultivating a wrestler to be unstoppable, a god, a Goliath, putting forth all of your best people against him, and then having him job to John Cena clean. Oh, wait! They did that.
Yeah.
I'm mad again. I'm re-mad.
Good. Good. Be mad.
I'm re-mad. I will be re-mad.
Be mad. I don't have anything to add to that point.
No, I mean, I was being a little hard on it with that. It wasn't as bad as what they did to poor sweet Rusev. Not looking forward to that hip hop gimmick. But
I don't know. It depends on if you can actually rap.
No, because it's just going to be a waste of our fucking time. Because that's Vince McMahon going, well, we used you for what you got here for. A lot of Vince McMahon in this fucking anime podcast.
He's a perfect anime player.
He is. He's Boss McMahon.
Boss McMahon.
We used you for what we got you here for. Put on some slotted shades and dance, because that'll amuse the people. Now leave. Now that your contract is over. I don't know. I wanted so much more payoff with that. It's really the same thing with Gine. And I noticed this happens a lot in some shonen anime, because it happened in Naruto too. What little I watched of that. They set up this really fucking cool villain with all this backstory and these cool powers. And you're like, yeah, this guy's gonna be a problem. I look, he's dead. Oh, he's super double dead, and they buried him under 9 fucking tombs. Oh, and then they melted those tombs into a tiny little box, and then they shot that box into the sun, and then they blew up the sun. Okay, well, I was looking forward to that, but what else do you have? Something even cooler. Excellent.
Now it did. That's actually that's a trope in shonen anime, is colorful casts of villains for the heroes to defeat.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was just all over too quick.
And while I appreciate your desire for more awesome badassery, trust me when I tell you that that is not the last set of awesome badasses.
Gosh, no, but stop giving me awesome badasses that I get super invested in, and you're like, nope!
No, Dad.
You better start liking Kenshin, because that's all the awesome badass you're getting.
Or Sano.
Who's only, no, he's not, because he can't be Kenshin.
For now. Give it time.
Is he going to get a laser sword?
This could be some Goku Vegeta shit. I don't even know. It goes on for a long time.
So, Sanosuke goes off and becomes a really great dad?
Wouldn't that be fucking great? By all reports, Vegeta was a much better dad than Goku ever was.
Goku left his son to tigers.
Yeah. It's Goku, much
and then threw him off a cliff.
Yeah. Goku, amazing warrior, shitty neglectful father.
Well, because he was
Vegeta's I finally beat you, Kakarot. I beat you on the field of fathership.
What's fathership? Is that a boat? I'm hungry. I'm still going to be proud of this moment. You're not taking it from me. And then he accidentally saves the world somehow. I don't know. I don't like Goku.
How could you not like Goku? He's the nicest dude.
He just doesn't.
What has he ever done? To harm... What has Goku done to earn your ire?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I don't actively hate Goku. I just don't like him. Hey, do you want to hang out with Goku? We're going to be playing some, I don't know, fucking Rummy Cube. Do I have to? Does Goku have to be there? How long is Goku going to be there? Because if he's just sticking around for half an hour or whatever, I'll be like, oh, hey, Goku, yeah, it's good to see you, man. Okay, well, have fun with that whole Super Saiyan Saving the Universe thing. Bye. But if you're going to be there all night, I don't want to hang out with fucking Goku.
Why? He's a fun guy. He would offer to...
He is 10 morons, and he always eats the everything.
Yeah, he would eat all the food at your party. He's not a very good party guest in that fashion. He will eat all the food.
I mean, I appreciate that he apologizes for it, but that doesn't get me pizza.
Well, he also apologizes while laughing.
It seems super disingenuous. It's I'm glad you're excited that your fucking fat face is so full of my fucking pizza, you bastard.
I think I understand it. I think you're just not a nice person, so you don't want to hang out with good, nice people like Goku. You begrudge them food and whatnot.
Just me, Batman, and Kurogasa. Giving each other psychotic, furtive glances.
Look at my teeth.
Oh my god, I forgot to talk about the teeth. That man's lips never touched. It was a soliloquy to the ability to talk while biting. Oh my god. I said little more during that anime than, look at my teeth. Fuck, I'm drunk also, look at my teeth. Ah. And oh my god, that got really fucking cool there for a minute.
Oh.
Jesus. His teeth, man.
A soliloquy to the ability to talk while biting.
Yeah, it's just, it was fucking cool.
Well, I mean, I think that wraps it up for this interview.
I'm impressed you didn't condemn me quite as much as I thought you were going to.
No. You don't like this show? It's not the end of the universe.
I wouldn't say I didn't like this show. It's just passable.
Yeah, it's passable. I mean, look, I loved it when I was a kid. It's not as good as I remember. So I can't really hate on you for not loving it, because if this was the first time I was seeing this, I wouldn't love it either.
You'd be like, no, yeah, it's not.
I know when nostalgia is giving me some additional fondness of a thing, and that's what's happening here. And I'm okay with that.
Oh yeah, you should be okay with that. It's important to love the things you already love, as well as love new things. I think I may have just accidentally endorsed polygamy. But if that's your thing, I'm for it.
We'll say love the one you're with.
No, that's an awful song.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Oh, that meaning is terrible.
Right?
Yes, that is right. Get out of... You're fired.
Fired me a lot today, yet I'm still here.
Oh, I told you to get out earlier.
I think what the issue is that you don't have the authority to make me leave.
Triple H, fire him. Boss man says you have to leave, you have to leave. Come on. Go.
Well, all right.
Get out of here. It's my ring.
Later.
No, you don't have to leave. Steph's the only one who can fire people around here. Come back. Come back. I don't do a Steph voice. Come back. Let's end this podcast. Can you say the ending words so the podcast can be over?
I was going to wait to see how long you went with that Triple H bit, to be honest.
Fuck.
We'll see you next week, listener. Everything's better when nerds talk about it.
Fuck it, let's get hardcore!